First, dynamic memory allocation. First, include stdio point h and number include stdlib.h. The program starts by including the necessary header files stdio.h and stdlibh, which provide function for input, output, and memory allocation and delocation, respectively. Next is int main, int n. Int main and int n. The main function begins by declaring a variable n to store the number of elements. Next is print enter the number of elements and scan. The program prompts the user to enter the number of elements they want in an array using print and sticks the input using scan, storing it in the variable n. Next is dynamically allocation memory for an integer array of size n and int asterisk int asterisk r arr equal int asterisk malloc and asterisk size of int. The program then dynamically allocates memory for an integer array of size, and using a malloc, the malloc function takes the number of bytes to allocate as an argument, which is calculated by multiplying the size of an integer size of int by the number of elements, and the return value of malloc is cast to an int asterisk integer pointer and assigned to the variable r. Next is AR, if ARR equal null. The program check if the memory allocation was successful by checking if R is null. If R is null, it means that the allocation failed, so an error message is printed and the program returns with a non-zero value to indicate failure. Next is print memory allocation filed failed and return 1. So, if the memory allocation was successful, the program prompts the user to enter n elements for the array using print it, then reads the elements one by one using a loop and scaff, storing them in the dynamically allocated array R. Print enter asterisk D elements Scan stress stress D and R D and ARR and I. After all the elements are entered, the program prints the elements in the array using the loop and pre. Create elements elements in the array are for int print asterisk D asterisk D ARRI. So this program dynamically allocates memory for an integer array based on user input, populates the array with user provided values, and then display the elements of the array. We free the dynamically allocated memory. Finally, the program releases the dynamically allocated memory using free ARR. This step is crucial to avoid memory leaks as it returns the allocated memory back to the system. For return 0, the program ends by returning 0 from the main function, indicating a successful execution. Next topic is pointers and function. First, number include include std ioh point h. So the program includes the necessary header file std io.h for input-output operation. Next is function that modifies the value of a variable using a pointer. So the program defines two functions, modify value and swap values. Next is void modify value in ptr and asterisk ptr equal 20. So the modify value function takes a pointer in asterisk ptr as its argument inside the function. The value pointed to by ptr is modified by assigning it a value of 20. The difference operator asterisk is used to access the value pointed to by the pointer. Next is function avoid swap values, int asterisk ptr1 int asterisk ptr2. Int temp equal pt asterisk ptr1 asterisk ptr1 asterisk ptr2 equal temp. So the swap values function takes two pointers int asterisk ptr and int asterisk ptr2 as its argument inside the function. The values pointed to by ptr1 and ptr2 are swapped using a temporary variable temp. Next is int main int num equal 10 and print value. Before before modification asterisk b n and num. The main function begins by declaring an integer variable num and initializing it with a value of 10. It then prints the initial value of num. passing the address of num to modify its value. Modify value and num. The modify value function is called with the address of num and num as the argument. This passes the memory address of num to the function. Print value after modification modification asterisk D and num. After the modify value function called the program prints the modified value of num, which is now 20, and change made to num inside the function is reflected in the main function because the pointer was passed by reference. X is int a print values before swap. The main function continues by declaring two integer variables a and b, initializing them with values of 10 and 20 respectively. The initial values of the a and b are then printed. Next is swapping values using pointers. Swap values and and B. The swap values function is called with the addresses of A and B as the argument. This passes the memory address of A and B to the function. Bring values after swap. A equal asterisk D B equal asterisk D N and A and B. After the swap values function called the program prints the values of A and B. The values have been swapped due to the change made inside the swap values function. Next is return 0. Finally, the main function returns 0, indicating successful execution. Next is file stream and their properties. First, open a file for writing file equal open example text. So first we open the file name example text in write mode the value using the open function. This creates a file object called file that represent the connection between the program and the file. Number, write data to the file write hello world. File this is sample file. So next we use the write method of the file object to write data to the file In this case, we write the string hello world, and this is a sample file. The write method updates the data to the file. Close. After writing the data, we close the file. Use the close method of the file object. This step important to ensure that any pending data finish to the file and release system resources associated with it file. Open the file for reading. File equal open example of text. So we then open the same file read mode R by calling open again. This time we assigning the file object the variable file. Next is read read data. Using the file object, we call the read method to read the contents of the file. The read method returns string containing the entire contents of the file. And print data. We store the read data in the variable data and print it to the console using the print function. Next is check. To check if the end of the file has been enriched, to attempt to call file A of. However, the code of provided incorrect. In Python, there is no method for objective. Instead, you can compare the result of file read with an empty string to check if the end of the file has been written. If file read returns an empty string, and it means that all data has been read and the end of the file has been. And the last is close the file. Close file the close. So finally, we close the file using the close method to release system resources. Next is random access file. First is open the file in binary mode for both reading and writing. File open. Open random file in RBT plus. Opening the file, the code opens a file named random file bin in binary mode RBT plus using the open function. The RBT plus mode allows both reading and writing operation on the file. The file object is stored in the file variable. Next is move the file position to a specific offset file seek 5. Moving the file position, the seek method is called on the file object to move the file position to a specific offset. In this case, the position is set to offset 5, which means the next operation will occur at that position within the file. Next is read 10 bytes from current the file position data file read 10. Reading the from file, the read method is called on the file object to read 10 bytes of data from the current file position. The read data is stored in the data variable. Print data, print read data. Data. Printing the read data, the print function is used to display the read data on the console. Move the file position to different offset file 620. Moving the file position, the seek method is called again on the file object to move the file position to a different offset. Here the position is set to offset 20, indicating that the next operation will take place at that position within the file. Next is write data at the new position. File write be hello world. Writing to the file, the write method is called on the file object to write the data hello world at the new position. The B prefix before the string is denotes that it is bytes object in Python. Next is close the file the close. Closing the file, the close method is called on the file object to close the file, release any system resources associated with it. Recursion and the call stack. the function the factorial n. The factorial function is defined with n as the parameter representing the number for which we want to calculate the factorial. Next is if n equal 0, return 1. The if n equal 0, return 1 is inside the function. There is an is statement that check if n is equal to 0. It means we have reached the base case of the factorial calculation because O factorial is defined as 1. In that case, the function returns 1. Next is else. If the base case is not met, the else block executed. It calculates the factorial of y multiplying n with its factorial of n1. This is achievement by calling the factorial function recurring with the argument n1. This recurring call breaks down the problem into similar sub-problems until the base of case. Next is return factor. The return of the recurring call factorial is returned back up the call stack.